Mom? Hey, where did you go? Right now, Dad is looking all over for you.
Huh? Is this you, Ed? Are you using your dad's phone again to try and text me?
Well, Mom, I don't have a phone of my own to text you from, so I had to take his.
And a boy in 5th grade doesn't need to have a smartphone at his age, right?
I know that, but Dad told me that when I needed to talk with someone else in the family while they are out, I could use his phone and text. Also, Dad had a small accident with his hand, right? And so he can't use his hand to text you right now.
Yeah. I knew that man was going to care more about you than anyone else. But if he really wants to spoil someone, he's better off doing that with my daughter, who looks just like me, since she is definitely the better looking one of you two.
You're talking about Avery, right?
Yes, that's right. You already know that I'm in love with all things that are both cute and beautiful. And that's why I'm only in love with your cute older sister, Avery.
Mom?
Just a second ago, you had asked me where I am right now, right? Well, I'm at the airport right now.
The airport?
I'm going to be taking your sister to France with me, and she's going to become a supermodel with the help of her mom.
She's going to become a supermodel in France?
I'm going to take her to Paris with me, and we'll find her a modeling agency who will take great care of her. And you are far too ugly to be a kid of my own, so I won't be needing you anymore. Well, you only ever ended up as a kid of mine because your dad brought you along with him in the marriage, so I don't even have to call you a part of my family anymore. So please, don't think anything bad of this, okay?
Dad is asking, have you filled out any divorce paperwork yet?
Tell him that the paperwork is sitting on the coffee table in the living room.
Alright. Well then that's fine with me, is what he said.
Huh?
Well, Dad just said that about you a second ago, but I feel the same way about you as well now. Have fun in France, Mom. Bye-bye.
Hello, Ed? This is your phone number, right, Ed?
And who am I speaking to right now?
This is your mom, Andrea.
What?
I've heard about how you've been doing so well for yourself, Ed. So now you can look up to me as your mom since I was able to get you to this point, and I can feel good about myself again as well.
I'm sorry to say this, but I don't believe I'm speaking with my mom right now.
Well, it has been 10 years since we last met, and I'm sure my number is different from the one I had back in those days. But look, I'm your mom. And if you're wondering how I got your number, I was able to get it from your aunt. Your aunt was kind enough to tell me that you're getting into the showbiz yourself there, huh? And that you'll be going into Hollywood for your debut, right?
That freaking dog. She's really gone and done it now.
Hey, come on now. You should not be speaking about your aunt in that manner, okay? It's because of her that I'm finally able to talk to you again, and you can finally speak with your mother once more. I bet you're so happy to finally hear from your mom again after 10 long years of waiting, right?
But I already told you, this is not my mom's number that I'm currently speaking to. Also know that she has only one phone and she's never told me nor anyone else that she has another. So tell me, what the hell do you want?
Come on, Ed. You don't have to give me such a cold shoulder. I know it's been a long time since you've heard from me, but you should still know how to talk to your own mother, right?
Look, can you quit it with all that BS?
Huh?
Are you kidding me? Can you not tell by the way I'm talking to you right now that I don't see you as my mother anymore and that I never want to again?
Huh?
You and that girl of yours, both Dad and I don't care about you guys. And all you do is bring back our bad memories by talking to me again. So go the hell away. And never try texting or calling me again.
Ed! This drama that I'm watching right now, I can tell just by looking at your face that you're the one playing the rival to the main character, right? I saw your name in the opening credits, and that face of yours is the same as when you were back in 5th grade. I totally get it now. Back in the day, you were a bit of an ugly duckling, but now that you've grown into a young adult, I have to say that you are one handsome-looking gentleman. Amazing. So you really are my son after all.
Ugh. You're texting me again?
Hey! Do you really think that's the right way to talk to your own mother? It's not. So you'd better start talking to me in a polite manner from now on.
You're not my mom. And that is why I'm talking to you like the annoyance you really are.
All right already, all right. I get it that it's because of me that you've become this amazing little actor. It's because of all that wishing and praying that I did to have a child of mine turn into an actor that you've become such an amazing person, right?
Seriously?
And compared to you, your older sister Avery, well, let's just say she's not doing as great.
What's happened to Avery?
Well, her and I are coming back to the States soon.
Weren't you and her trying your hardest to get her to become a supermodel or something?
Well, that didn't ever really turn into anything more than just a dream. I thought for sure that since she's a natural beauty, she'd be able to make it in one of those agencies over there, but of course, those French have a different idea of who's beautiful or not. So in the end, any agency we went to never gave her a chance to model, and any private work she tried never ended up being scouted. And what's worse is after failure, she began to eat a lot more bread and stuff to fight the stress. And let's just say she's gained a few pounds. Really, she's no longer a beauty whatsoever, but rather the definition of an obese person. Seriously, I cannot use her at all now. But this is why, to me, you were the perfect son any mother could ever ask for. My prayers were finally heard, and you turned into the most handsome-looking young man imaginable.
Well, I didn't get this far because of you.
Huh?
The only reason I've become an actor is because I wanted to become one, so I put in the effort to get to where I am now. To tell you the truth, it's supposed to be the manager's job to be here with me to help me diet and make sure I stay up to date on roles, right? Well, you haven't been here for me these past 10 years, nor have you ever been my manager, so screw you.
Huh?
Also, people don't just make it in a modeling or acting business by looking good.
Ed!
You have to be able to act as well, whether it's on stage or in the studio. And you have to be able to work to become the character you want to be, which takes weeks to perfect.
Wait a minute.
So you have no right coming to me acting as though you've put any work or care into me? Therefore, please, for God's sake, just leave me the hell alone so that you don't cause me any headaches anymore. Seriously, stop talking to me. I'm not messing around right now.
Seriously, Ed? Don't you think you're going a little too far with all this after having blocked your own mother's number now?
Are you kidding me?
I had my phone number changed so that I could get in touch with you again.
I told you already, stop trying to get in touch with me anymore.
Oh my. Well, why would I ever want to stop talking to my son? Are you really sure you want me to stay away from you even longer than I already have? I plan to become your manager soon so that you can become even more famous.
What?
You don't have to try and keep me at bay anymore. I promise that I'll do everything in my power to make sure you get as many roles as you'd like. And if you're worried about me having any experience, just know that I've been the manager for Avery for the past 10 years, and I did a wonderful job at it.
By wonderful, do you mean you failed her on multiple occasions, and that's why you're back?
Huh?
As from what you've told me, you didn't take Avery anywhere as her manager, and only led her to becoming fat and sad about her life. You told me that yourself the last time we chatted about her.
Well, that was something else. It had nothing to do with me as her manager, rather do with her way of thinking. She didn't have the drive she needed to become a supermodel, and that's why things didn't work out for her. But you're different. I know that with my help, I can take you to the top.
Well, I'm already on my way there.
Huh?
My manager happens to be one of the most well-known in the Hollywood world, and she also happens to be my mom.
Your mom? Ah, right. So this is your way of saying that you want me to be your manager, right? Understood, Eddie. I'll make sure to make you huge in Hollywood, and make sure that you and I never have to worry about falling out of the spotlight ever again.
Wrong. I'm talking about how I already have a manager and mother, and she's not you.
What? What do you mean by that?
My dad happened to get remarried about 8 years ago.
Huh?
And not only did Dad end up getting remarried, but he did so with a woman who he ended up having a baby girl with, and she has the most beautiful face and figure. But, unlike you, she's not the kind of person to only care about those that are attractive looking, and is willing to love everyone in her family very much. And so because of her warmth, I've been able to forget about the cold past that I had with you as my mother, and can now live a new life as a successful man.
That man, he got remarried to a new woman? And not just that, but had a girl with her?
And that's why I've been saying that you're not my mother this whole time. It's been 10 years since you left Dad and I, so I have zero clue why you're back here now trying to talk to me like you ever cared about my family. But if you really think that you have any chance of getting back into this family as my dad's wife, then you're strictly mistaken, as there's zero chance of that happening now.
What?
That's what I thought.
I have no other choice right now. 10 years ago, my dad, who was a very wealthy person, passed away. And of course, after his death, I received a lot of that money in his will from him. And when that money came to me, I thought it would be the perfect chance for me to get my daughter to become a famous model. And that's why I took her with me to France and started to make her model.
I see. So that's what Dad was explaining to me about after you left us?
During the first year, I was never able to land her any modeling gigs, and so I just thought that was a part of the industry. And since she didn't have a name for herself yet, I decided it would be better for the two of us to start conforming to life there first before getting into modeling. But then it was 2 years, and then 3 years, and time just kept on going without us ever seeing any real work come for us. And during that time, Avery graduated from an international high school there. That was the moment I thought she'd really put all her time into modeling, without the need to study, but I was wrong. But then I started to really have a closer look at her, and it appeared to me she already gave up, and the food there had gotten the best of her. She was no longer the beautiful young woman I pictured her as, rather a model for some weight loss ad. And it wasn't just that. I noticed that a lot of the money from my father had dwindled away, and so I had to make the choice to bring us back to the U.S.
What?
The house that your sister and I had been planning on living in is no longer there for us. And so right now, we don't have a place to go home to.
Right. Currently, your mom is in an elderly home, spending the last couple of years of her life being cared for by the nurses there.
What?
I heard from her that she used the money left over by her husband and the money from the house when she sold it to get into a really nice home where there are all sorts of amenities for her.
You're kidding. So that means there really is no place for us to go?
And that's not all, actually. You ended up taking your daughter away with you to another country, even though she never really wanted to. And while there, you used up not only your own money that you received from your late dad, but also the money that was supposed to be left for her. There were apparently a few other people that were supposed to get the money from your late father, who never did because of you.
What are you talking about? Where is my mom right now?
I have no clue where she chose to go. Besides that, it's good for her.
What?
So far, everything I've been telling you has been okay to tell you, as the other parties involved don't seem to mind you knowing. But even if I did know more about your mom, I wouldn't tell you, as she never gave me the permission to.
Hold on a second. If you're not going to tell us where she is, how are Avery and I going to live?
Think about that one yourself, Andrea.
Huh?
There's another thing. As for that aunt of mine that ended up causing you to learn about my current situation in the first place, the whole family has stopped talking to her. So if you're trying to go for her for more information regarding me, you won't learn anything more than you already know.
Huh?
Now, I have to get ready to head into the studio for another session of takes, so I'll be going now.
Huh? Wait a second, Ed.
I'm blocking you again.
Right now I'm stuck in a cheap motel with Avery and we don't have much money left to keep us here. When it's all gone, we'll have to move into the streets. Hey, I'm only asking you this one time to please give me a place to live, just for a little bit. Ed!
There was one last thing that I never ended up explaining to Andrea, and it all had to do with the information that was left over regarding her late father's money and assets, and who they all went to. On that sheet of paper, she could probably take a closer look at it and learn where her mother ran off to, had she just taken the time to do so. Of course, Andrea or Avery could still think of that as an option and take a look for themselves, but I was never gonna recommend that to her, as I just don't care about either of them. So whatever happens next with those three will be left unknown to me. And a couple days later, Andrea and Avery both appeared to have figured out where I was currently working in Hollywood and came to find me. But of course I told security of this, and they made sure to stay on the lookout for these two. And when they were spotted around the studio, security called the police, who then came and grabbed the two of them, where they later found some information on distant relatives of them who they ended up calling to come get them. And within a day, a black minivan pulled up outside the police station to pick those two up, and then they were gone for good. My dad later called me to tell me that distant relative was Andrea's younger sister, who ended up taking those two into her company to work for her, day and night, for the rest of their lives. It was such a relief to learn that Andrea and Avery could no longer touch any of us anymore, and ever since then, I've been able to live in peace. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Hey, you better have everything ready for the welcome party for the newcomers, especially that presentation. I'll dock your pay if you can't entertain me well enough. Don't forget the catering and the music, too. Hello, Simon. A welcome party. To be honest, I don't think I can do that right now. I have a lot on my plate at the moment. I also think we're not really in a good position to welcome anybody at the moment. What are you talking about? Ugh, you're always acting like you're so busy when you barely do anything at all. How can you call yourself part of our team? How dare you neglect your responsibilities? You're such a disgrace. Tuh. Well, I'm really busy. You should know how busy I am, since you're the one giving me most of my work. And we haven't been getting as many sales as we'd like to, have we? That's your responsibility as the salesperson, isn't it? You're supposed to be going out every day to make sales, aren't you? What on earth are you doing? You're just probably slacking off somewhere, aren't you? What, are you sneaking around with some girl while you're on the clock? Of course not. I'm making sales in my own way. But if I'm the only one doing it, there's a limit to how much I can do. I can't do 5 things at the same time. So, in other words, it is your fault. It's your fault that work isn't going well. If you can't get the preparations for the welcome party done, that just means you don't know how to arrange your schedule properly. I'm sorry about that. I'm trying really hard to balance everything. But I'm also working during the time I'm supposed to have off. I don't mean to be rude, but you also don't really go out to make sales either, do you? You're always in your office. Does that mean you're doing well? Obviously. I don't even pay too much attention to my sales numbers. That just shows how many sales I'm making. After all, I can't do anything that would take work away from the younger people. You all are the ones who should be going out for sales. That's why I'm giving out orders from the sales office instead. I feel as though we should be trying to make as many sales as we can. The more sales we make, the better. It's not really about taking people's work. It's about working together as a company to meet goals regardless of your position. That's just my opinion, though. What? Are you trying to tell me how to do my job? Who's the boss here? No, I'm not. I'm just saying that we generally have low sales right now. I just think we could try and send more people out. It would be very difficult, impossible even, to meet our goals if it's just me going out. Maybe you just need to work harder. Or maybe you can work during your lunchtime. Now, there's a suggestion. Oh yeah, I wanted to tell you something. You shouldn't be taking days off without permission, you know. What? What do you mean? I didn't take any days off without permission. Are you telling me you saw the word weekend and actually thought it was the end of your week? What do you mean by that? We're supposed to get weekends off, aren't we? You must be joking! There's no way. This isn't a little high school part-time job. This is the real world. You think young people like you get to rest on weekends? During our busiest season? Stop messing with me. Weekends are there for you all to come to help your superiors, so of course you have to come to work. What? I've never heard that rule before. Did you all make that rule sometime this year? I'm the one who made the rule, clearly. There's a hierarchy if you didn't know. As my subordinate, your purpose in this company is to make my life easier. So you definitely can't be slacking off. Come on, you can do better than that. What? I'm supposed to come in on the weekends. I've worked 3 different office jobs since graduating college, and none of them were like that. Sorry to break it to you, but this isn't just an office job. This is serious business. So you should know that much. When you're lounging around on Sundays, nursing a hangover or whatever it is you do, your superiors are still working. I thought it was because we all have different shifts. That's how it is anywhere else. Stop making all these excuses. That's why we can't make any sales. The more time you waste, the less sales we make. It's obvious. I'm really not so sure about this. You're working overtime today anyways, aren't you? I'll give you until tomorrow. So you better have those party preparations and the presentation ready in the morning. I'll be waiting. Huh? Tomorrow morning? I'm not sure if I can do that, if I'm being honest. It's already almost 5 p.m. You had all the time in the world to do it before. You were just loafing around. Plus, 5 p.m. is still early. It's plenty of time if you ask me. I still have so much other work to do. Could you at least get someone to help me with the party, please? Help you? Everyone's too busy with their own work. This was your responsibility. But anyways, this is more important. Some of the new employees coming in for the welcome party are women. You want to show them our good side, don't you? We need to impress them to make sure they want to stay in our company. Well, I'm not really thinking about things like that. If that presentation isn't good, those women will have a bad impression of me. I know you can do it. I'm not sure if that matters. Of course it matters. First impressions are everything, especially when it comes to women. You do well to remember that. Anyways, we're all going out for drinks after that, so I'll be counting on you for that prep too. We need a good restaurant. Make sure it isn't cheap. You're going out for drinks. Okay, fine. I'll think about it for tomorrow. Hello, Alex. That was a really good meeting today. I always really enjoy your meetings. You did an amazing job, and that presentation was top-notch. I was really impressed. I can't wait for the next one. Thank you very much, Beverly. I really appreciate your kind words. I'm the one who should be thanking you. I appreciate your attendance and helpful advice. I'm glad I could help out. You seemed a little tired today, though. Your face looked really pale. Are you all right? Maybe you've been working too hard? What? Really? I'm sorry, you really don't have to bother worrying about me. Although I have been very tired recently, if I'm being honest. Yesterday, a lot of things were happening at work and I didn't find time to sleep. Ah, you've been really busy, haven't you? Having work and being busy is a good thing, but it doesn't make sense if you work yourself to death. That's true. I'm trying to rest as much as I can, but I guess you can say if I rest, the company could be in danger. Oh, really? There's so many good employees there, though. Maybe you can get some of them to find time to help you out? I've already asked, but everyone is too busy with their own schedules to help me. Really? That's too bad. So many of the employees there are so reliable and hardworking. Ah, but that man who came to our company to make a sale a couple years ago wasn't that great. I'm definitely sure I saw him today. I think he's probably your boss now, though, funnily enough. Oh, really? I didn't know anyone from our company has visited you before. That's right. But that man, Simon Andrews, was it? I never got the feeling that he was that into it. I felt like he gave up quite easily, to put it simply. He never chased after a sale. Once he was told no, he was done. I was very close to moving on from working with this company. I didn't like the feeling that our business relationship wasn't on the same level. But since you started working there, I've changed my mind. I love how straightforward and passionate you are when you sell. I saw so much potential in you. Well, thank you so much, Beverly. Hearing that from you makes me feel a lot better. It sounds like your current company is too harsh. Plus, you said the business situation isn't looking too good. Would you be interested in working for my company? I feel like you could be a valuable asset to our team. Our workload is probably a little bit heavier, but we have 4-day weeks and plenty of vacation. So you shouldn't ever have to worry about overworking yourself. What? I'm honored that you would even consider asking me. But I specifically chose this company, so I'd like to try stay here for a little longer. That's great. I like that about you too. You're a very loyal and determined young man. But it's okay. I understand. If you ever change your mind, let me know. I'll make sure our doors will always be open for you. Thank you so much. I'm really glad you asked me. It's always nice to be recognized for working hard. I'll keep in touch. Thank you again. Please enjoy the rest of your evening. Hey, slacker. Did you have fun relaxing and forgetting about your responsibilities? I hope you're looking forward to coming in this morning. I sure am. Simon, I don't understand what seems to be the problem. I wasn't slacking off. I had to go to the hospital for a stomach ulcer. I told you multiple times. I'm coming back today, so I will see you later. I'm sorry for causing any trouble. That's all you do. This company doesn't need someone like you. This is the first time I've ever met someone who causes this much trouble. But I left a little gift on your desk celebrating your return. What do you mean? You've been going on and on about how you're in the hospital for a stomach ulcer, so I got a funeral candle for you and left it on your desk. You've been out for 3 whole days, so I've decided to fire you. Come get your candle and get out. What? Are you being serious? With all due respect, did you expect me to work in my condition? Of course I'm serious. I wouldn't joke about something like this. Besides, any man should be able to handle a little ulcer. If you absolutely had to stay in the hospital, you could have at least done remote work on your laptop. You've been so irresponsible. I've had it with you. I expect to see your letter of resignation on my desk before lunch and that candle and the rest of your stuff out of my sight by the end of the day. I hate to say it, but this company is going to fall apart, you know. Ha! That's what literally everyone says when they're fired. You're incompetent. Shut the hell up and leave. I see. I'll take over everything you are in charge of, along with all of the commissions, of course. It's all going to go great. I hope so. Well, I'll take you up on your offer and quit then. Alex, what are you trying to pull? Ever since you left, this place has been falling to pieces. This is all your fault. My fault? What are you talking about? I'm pretty sure I told you very clearly things were going to fall apart if I left. But you clearly didn't believe me and foolishly thought you could turn this company around on your own. I didn't think you were serious. You should have told me sooner. I've made a terrible mistake. I take everything back. You have to come back and fix this mess. I didn't find it necessary to go into details. After all, you were deliberately trying to take credit for my work and steal my commissions. It wouldn't have been fun for me if I told you everything. Well, I didn't know we were so close to bankruptcy. The companies you were in charge of were just barely keeping the business afloat, and now that you're gone, they've ended their contracts. I don't understand. Why won't they do business with me? What did you tell them? All of the companies were amazing, so if you were a decent person, I'm sure they would have kept the contracts. I think that attitude of yours is the problem here. You think you're better than everyone else. Like, what is up with that? Huh. I'm the one with the attitude problem. Listen to yourself. Not only that, I heard you jumped ship right over to Presco. No wonder they wouldn't budge no matter how much I tried to speak to them. That's funny. Beverly told me pretty much the exact opposite of that. She said you gave up way too easily. You'd think you would try harder considering the company's future was on the line. That's enough out of you, traitor. You sabotaged us. Why else would you join in such a high position? Chief Sales Officer. What a joke. I guess it's because I'm an excellent worker. Get over yourself. You must want me to tell them how many times you used your sales time to fool around. Tell them anything you want. I don't think they'd believe anything you said anyways. But for real though, Beverly saw how hard I work and offered me a position even before you decided to force me out. What? They lured you away from us? They're not allowed to do that. That is not the case. At first, I declined the offer. But when you told me to quit, I couldn't believe it. It didn't matter how hard I worked. Everything would have just been taken from me. Nothing I did was good enough for you. Okay, fine. I admit you did a decent job while you were here. But since you left, business has taken a nosedive and now we're bankrupt. So, tell them to hire me too. I can't work here anymore. Excuse me? You think that's the type of attitude to have when begging someone for something? Absolutely not. You never spoke to me like this before. You were always so passionate about your job. What happened to you? Oh, where is this sudden flattery coming from? My passion for sales hasn't changed, but in terms of work, I don't want to be involved with you anymore. So I have no reason to pretend to be all polite to you anymore. What did you say? Just because you got hired by a good company, you think you're all that? Just watch. I'll get myself hired by an even better company. I'll make you eat your words, you little brat. Really? I'd love to see you try. I don't think you have a chance with any of the companies in this area, though. What's that supposed to mean? Well, Simon, you're becoming quite famous around these parts. In a bad way, though. What? What are you talking about? I haven't done anything wrong. It's a good thing the company was going bankrupt anyway, or I imagine the lawsuits would have done them in. You tried to force yourself onto one of the new women after happy hour, didn't you? Another employee got everything on video, and she said she was going to file a report to the police. What? What the hell? I was drunk, and just tried to have some fun with the ladies, but I didn't touch them. I didn't mean any harm. If you think anyone's going to believe those lame excuses, you're sadly mistaken. It's pretty gross to touch another person's body without consent, much less one of your subordinates. I can't believe you stooped to such a low level. I knew you were a lazy blowhard, but I didn't think you were a sexual predator as well. It's painfully embarrassing to know that someone like you is my boss. Hold on a second. I was just trying to be friendly. After we went bankrupt, a lot of people quit. I was trying to form business connections so we could keep in touch. Saying that I forced myself on them is blowing things out of proportion. It was just a friendly conversation. I always noticed you were looking at some of the women strangely, and you said some weird stuff. But now that you've actually put your filthy hands on them, you're done for. I said that's not what happened. The video footage we have as evidence speaks for itself. The only thing you might be left with is a criminal record, but those ladies will always have those emotional scars you gave them. I hope you never forget that. Wait, don't call me a criminal. It's not like I killed anybody or anything. But you are a criminal. I always thought you were a malicious person, but now I realize my hunch was correct. You are just my old scumbag boss who has no morals. I really hope you get what's coming to you, you sick pervert. After that, there was a local news report about Simon. And just as I said, he became famous for all the wrong reasons. Simon applied to literally every company in town, but he was rejected everywhere he went. Eventually, he had no choice but move away and start over somewhere completely new. He's powerless, but still acts big. He abuses his authority to chase down young women. It was only a matter of time until he found himself in a situation like this. Hopefully, with that news report and the video uploaded to social media, he can never outrun his history. As for the company, after they went bankrupt, they were unable to recover. Over 40 people lost their jobs. Beverly tried her very best to help some of them with vacant positions here at our company, but we were only able to hire about 7 people. Simon holds the responsibility for all those people with families losing their jobs, but he only cares about himself. I pray that all those people are able to get back on their feet.